Hello everybody, in this video we're going to compare the Fighter's Binding to the Sheer Daggers. Both are fast attack weapons and I got them here by doing Sogi Cave. And I want to show you the things that I use for my build. This is the Fighter's Binding that I'm using right now. It allows me to get any enemies, don't let them even close to me. It's a crazy weapon. I'm going to compare this in a second so you can see actually the build that I'm actually using. And if I can actually find Sheer Daggers to be better than the Fighter's Binding for my particular build. Well, we need to check it out, and that's exactly what I'm going to do in this video. We're going to see whether the Sheer Daggers will replace my Fighter Bindings for my favorite build. Again, what you see here is the Fighter's Binding. Again, as you can see, Shockwave, Swirling, these tons of damage, stagger enemies, and have a gong if I need to, if they get too close. You can shoot behind, just deal the damage behind walls. You can take a cover so enemies don't get you and you still hit them. Exploders can get to you. You're gonna just explode or not die before even they get to you. It's just great. Many electrified enemies can be sometimes a problem. So when you get electrified, it's better for you maybe just to rush to them because you need to hit them to get the radiance active. And again, here I'm actually getting the Sheer Daggers. So let's jump into it and see how good this weapon is. So, Sheer Daggers, how good this weapon is. Well, I know that the first thing, if you get it, you want to do is just compare it to the Fighter's Binding, because this is the fast weapon. Fast attack weapon. Now, let's ignore this enchantment for a second, because again, it can be different. Depends on, what you get, what other people gives you. You can get a bit different enchantments. But as you can see, it twice as slow compared to the Fighter's Binding. It has slightly less power, more power compared to the Fighter's Binding, but has a smaller area. Fighter's Binding has a slightly higher area. Not slightly, almost twice, but again, still it's not a big area compared to other weapons in general. But again, the base damage is higher, and keep in mind these are different powers, alright? So, but in general, we can just look here and we can see the difference in damage. It's have a higher damage, but it's a slower weapon. So, the unique perk that it has is chance to spawn area damage. And by the way, keep in mind, Fighter's Bindings also has boost attack speed as well. This is Swirling, and this is level 1 Swirling. So this is actually like this one. Again, the damage can be different, depends on the power. But basically, level 1 is half the damage compared. I mean, level 3 does 2 times damage than level 1. So this is why level 1 is not that great. But what is great for is actually if you have committed. Why? Because when you're dealing with enemies and the Swirling is gonna hit, and I'm gonna just show it to you. Soon you're gonna get to a battle, so I'm gonna demonstrate easily. This is just one regular attack speed, and with mushroom, so you can see when the Swirling happens, it's gonna eat enemies around you. So you can already have damage, and this means that committed will actually eat be active immediately. So the first hit you're gonna hit them. This is why this actually combination of committed on this weapon, if you have this, you can have different things of course. It's very good. Because then I'm just gonna hit with the double damage, because it has 100% bonus damage. Alright, so we're just gonna why I moved, I'm gonna show you. So basically we are dealing with, you see the damage? 12k. And just 12k imaging happening with mushroom, and of course you have critical hit that can happen, and then you get very good damage. Right. Again, great versus single targets, but not that great versus a pack of enemies. And we're gonna go and I'm gonna show it to you why. Let's go below 15. Okay. So basically, Fighter's Binding, because it's a faster weapon, it will execute. It will lead to Swirling, or if you have Shockwave, to happen more often. And this also increases the damage. Not just this increases the damage. I'm going to show you Fighter's Binding. It's also prevent enemies from coming close to you. And get Shockwave and Swirling. It just creates an amazing way to just even not let enemies hit you. And I'm going to show you why my Fighter's Binding is actually really good. I'm going to demonstrate you. Look at the distance of the Shockwave, alright? The closer they get, the higher the damage, because then you're gonna get Swirling and you're gonna get hit, and again I'm gonna get even Radiant. So basically I can just go and not even let enemies close to me. This is how good it is. And this is the Fighter's Binding. And if they get close, I can activate the gong, but as you can see, just crazy. You're just untouchable. And you can, I made a video about it, you can check it out. It's just crazy, especially at high apocalypse. This is just super powerful. Of course, if they get close to me, I get radiance, but... And even those who actually explode, they won't be able to get close to you. The only thing is that you don't radiant, but if somebody gets close to you, you're gonna radiant. But they don't get close to you because again, it's so much damage. So this is the fighter's binding, right? You need to make sure that you have mushroom activated. Now you can just go in, you see the radiance activated. It's a very powerful one, even at the highest difficulty level, which is Apocalypse 20. See, I can just stay here, and because this damage, Shockwave can also go behind cover. I can actually hide in certain places and just activate, even behind the wall, and we see work. This is very powerful. All right, but now back to the, of course, our Sheer Daggers. Now, because this is a slower weapon, and the most important thing is the speed. And because I already have built-in Swirling, well, I don't really enjoy the same benefits of having a fighter's binding with Shockwave and Swirling here. And even Radiance happen less often, because all of those are actually rely on the speed, how many hits you can actually hit. Not just on damage, not on the damage, I mean on the how many times you can actually hit per second. That's why this works really well, especially with high apocalypse level, where there are many enemies that you need to deal with. And here with this one, they won't even get close to me most of the time, right? So this one, there's lots of damage, but as you soon see, it has problem dealing with many enemies actually. When we need to deal many enemies actually attacking us. Single targets. What? I don't know what happened there. Single targets, of course, is not an issue, but let's try to deal with many enemies. Oh, activate 2 mushrooms. And I'm not gonna activate my potion barrier just to see if I can sustain. This is okay, but when you do higher, even other difficulty, you're gonna find that it's very hard to keep up with the incoming damage, because it takes you more time to eliminate. I'm gonna activate it now to eliminate enemies. And of course, because you are slower, Radiant won't open that often, so you might not be able to keep up with the incoming damage, because if the Radiant can't keep up with the damage, well, you know what's gonna happen. You're gonna die. So this is something to keep in mind. Staying away here is not an option. I need to make sure that I'm close range. And rely on very good damage to survive. But again, you see, it's problematic compared to my other build, which was very easy to do. So this is a problem with this weapon, and I think all of the apocalypse, all of the high apocalypse will have the same problem. You deal with many enemies, enchanted enemies, and this is a hard weapon to deal with, and with it in general. I'm going to show you here as well. Gonna activate it. See how much time. So basically the damage is very good, but still kind of suffering. No, it's not that easy compared to the other one, to the Soul Fist. Kind of risky, and I needed to, for example, in many times to use the potion barrier. This is a built-in potion barrier on my sword armor. So well, you can actually see the problem. Soul Fist. Oh, this is nice. This is actually good. I want to try it out. It comes with Committed, Swirling, and Shockwave. Great for damage, but again, no healing unless I use Anima Conduit. Anyway, that's for later. Now we're going to change back to the Fighter's Binding and you see how it is. And this is Fighter's Binding is the lower one. If I get it in 158, it's just going to melt everything. So what you're seeing is they can't even get close to me, it's just gonna be dead almost instantly. So much damage is there. So actually I don't need to get close, I'm pressing shift and actually don't let them close to me. If somebody get close, I use gong. Oh, the only thing, the problem, is the AoE that they are dealing. Sorry, I hate explosive, just interfere with my plans. It's so easy. This makes it so easy. I don't even need to go close. I can just do this. Oh, what? Oh, it's in the air. That's why. This is such a powerful weapon, and that makes you think. if I need to choose between the two, what would I choose? But the thing is, you can build around it with different build. Again, it all depends on the build that you're using. And maybe choose different enchantment. Maybe I'm going to reset it. But you know, when you have such a weapon, like the Sheer Daggers, we commit with the built-in swirling committed. It's just a must, right? Radiance is good, but sometimes you feel that just can't keep up with the incoming damage. For again, we are talking about levels around the recommended levels that I'm actually, you know, for my power, right? It's not fair to just check it to get higher ones, lower ones. Just trying to see how good it is compared to levels with the power that is recommended for my particular, you know, power here. So again, if you ask me, you know, which one is actually better in general, I can say that hands down, this fighter's binding is way better. I can deal with any enemies. I can hit from wall, behind walls. I can do anything. Explosives can get in. Nothing can get to me. I'm just kind of invincible. Whether with this one, well, I need to engage, and even then, you know, it's a problem. It's not just it eliminates them instantly, right? Great for single targets, but for many with engagement with many targets, in terms of multi-target DPS, this weapon kind of suffers. But it's a cool weapon. The damage is very, very high. Again, for bosses, yes, it will be great. Because for single target DPS, it's very good. So my first impressions, well, good, but again, I need to test it more and see whether I can, you know, find a build that can really benefit from this one. But other than this, my fighter's binding is just so much better for high apocalypse. So you know, that's why I prefer using it. And I got it in Soggy Cave. I did Soggy Cave, but I think I did. Yeah, I did plus 20, and I got it. And yeah, so this is it for the Sheer Daggers, and how it compares to my fighter's binding. Again, you can have different builds. It's up to you. Of course, you can create something different just using his Thought Armor. I'm just going to explain quickly. So I have Deflect, but still need one with Dynamo. It would be great. Swift-footed to replace the boots. I can just roll and move faster. Alright, so I don't need the boots. I can put another mushroom here to always have fast attack speed. I use it, of course, fight its binding, but it can also be good for this one as well, for the sheer daggers, gong, and chilling, because enemies move slower, attack less, I get less damage, and it takes me time to get close to me, so I can deal more damage and finish them. And again, this is perfect for the fighter's binding, and also is also good for sheer daggers as well. Yeah. So this is it. Which one you prefer? Maybe you have a different one, different enchantment that you think that can be good for this one. Let me know in the comment section below. Right now, Fighter's Binding, first place. This enchantment, crazily powerful, super OP. It's crazy. For any apocalypse level, you can really easily survive with this. Easily. And it's really fun to play with. So this is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed this one. More coming, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and giving a little like. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Cheers.